Well, those things are hidden in the counsels of God. Acts 1:7 is beautiful. It's not for you to know the times and the seasons. That would be the stretches of time, the points of time, either the length of time or the various things that are going to happen. Not for you to know that. Only the Father knows that. Even the Son did not know that, didn't pretend to know. There is the text that says that this gospel of the kingdom, note carefully, the gospel, the one and only true gospel, is always the gospel about the kingdom, must be preached in the whole wide world, and then and only then can the end come, when you therefore see the abomination of desolation. So the real sign of the end is when you see the abomination standing where he, masculine participle there, where he ought not to, in a holy place, a temple presumably, some sort of very ferocious person, although he appears peaceful initially, and he makes a covenant with Israel for a period of 7 years. That's quite clear. When you see that happening, and we don't yet, then I think you can say we're near the end. But I have no idea why the time should be long. I do know that Jesus said twice that he would come back after a long time. He also said he would come back shortly. Shortly is a way of speaking of urgency. The kingdom of God is always at hand. The day of the Lord was at hand in the Old Testament. It was always a matter of urgency. That's not a Western way of dealing with time, I understand that. But to say, for instance, that in Matthew 24, this generation will not pass, to make that believe, to make you believe that that text would require that the second coming happened by 70 AD is extraordinarily wrong, absolutely wrong. It does away with the future. It kills hope, and hope is the foundation of love and faith, Colossians 1 and 4. So if you destroy your hope by erasing the future second coming and the kingdom that follows, if you erase all that, expect to be poisoned, expect to be deadened in your faith, very, very wrong. So after a long time, Messiah comes back. There is a thing about 6,000 years. I don't get into any of that as possible. A reckoning, as the early church fathers thought of it. But I'm not expert in chronology. I know man has been run for some 12,000 years, perhaps 10,000 years. I don't get into that. But I'm waiting till this gospel of the kingdom is preached in all the world. And when we see the abomination of desolation standing where he ought not to, most important, a human being or an image of a person in a rebuilt temple. You haven't got that yet. So it would not be tomorrow. There can be no second coming tomorrow or this evening. That would require a pre-tribulation rapture, and that doesn't exist in Scripture. There's only one second coming, and it's strictly post-tribulational, immediately after the Great Tribulation. The sun will be darkened, Matthew 24:29, and then they will see the Son of Man coming visibly and powerfully. That much I know with certain. The rest I think is speculative. And we don't know how extensive that has to be. I have no idea. I know that with internet that becomes possible and is becoming possible in a brand new way, but how long that has to go, I really do not know. I'm tired of all the date setting. We've had failed date setting forever, and people make a lot of money out of that, but we should never ever set dates. We don't know. However, when we get to that last heptad, that last week, in quotes, that period of 7 years, then we would have a much more certain idea of how long we have to wait, I think. That's classical futurism.